Hey, y'all. You know, there's a lot of bright lights right here. Woo, Lord. I'm April Saul. I've been going here for about 4 years, little bit. When I first started coming here, it was a lot like I was telling my friends the other day. It was much like Morse code, you know, ... dash, ... dash. I was here and there, you know. I didn't know anybody here. But I want to share a little bit of my testimony with you ladies, and it's going to be a wild ride. So hold on to your seats and try to keep up because it goes all over. So first I have to say that one of my sweet friends jokingly told me the other day that I may not ought to tell people that the Lord speaks to me or through me prophetically because, you know, they're going to think I'm crazy. And all I could do was look at her and say, it's too late. It really is. It's too late. So let me just start. 4 years ago, I was a hot mess. And when I say that, I really mean I was a workaholic. I was completely ridden with insecurities about myself in every form and fashion that a person could have. I came from a crazy broken family and didn't really have security. And so I looked for that everywhere I went. But it also meant that I didn't trust people, that I kept a wall up. And I kept you at the other side of that wall a good distance because I didn't want to worry about getting hurt, you know. If I kept you there, I knew your name, I knew your face, it's good. I can go on, I don't get hurt. But then I attended my first ladies' conference here. And I can tell you that it has absolutely, positively changed the direction, the trajectory of my entire life. It is not anything I could have ever imagined for myself, and I wouldn't change it. Somewhere in the middle, I think I would like to change it because, you know, things hurt sometimes, but I wouldn't change it because it's all worth it. I was at a ladies' conference. I didn't know any of these ladies. I knew Amy Hickman's name, and I could pick her out the crowd. I mean, I really missed church more than I came. And it's just the truth of the matter. That's where I was. That was my season, my place. As I went to the sessions, I noticed that all these ladies that don't know me somehow know all my business. And I thought, after the first session, I thought, how does that lady know that stuff? That is my business. The second session, the third, and it just continued on. And I thought, this is crazy. I don't know what to think about this. Well, then I went to one of the last sessions, and the lady was teaching about journaling. I did not know that was kind of like a diary. I thought that was drawing or something. I didn't know. But she spoke about it, and I thought, I am not going to keep a diary. That is just ridiculous. And she said, just write down what the Lord's speaking to you, highlight it. And she gave me highlighters. And I thought, well, okay. So I took one, a purple highlighter. I put it in my little bag, and I went to the closing session. And Jamie Martin was sharing her testimony at the end about hurt and insecurities, false thoughts about yourself, the way you look or whatever. And I thought, oh, man, so that's exactly where I'm at. Oh, that too. And I was like, golly, this is not cool. So she said, I want everybody to stand up and close your eyes. I'm going to pray for you. And she did. And she prayed for us. And as she started to pray, I had the closest thing to a breakdown I thought I would ever have in my entire life because I closed my eyes And then I opened them right back up because I don't pay attention. I don't mind. And when I seen her, she was lit up like she was in a pillar of light right here. And it came through the ceiling. And she was so lit up white that I could see the outline of her clothes, but not even the color. Blew my mind. And I thought, oh, this is it. I have lost my mind. And so I looked around me and I thought, well, every single person in here looked like a paper cutout. And I said, oh, I've lost my mind. Oh my gosh, I'm going crazy. God, does a crazy person know they're crazy? I mean, I started praying right there. I'm like, I don't know. And then she said something that got my attention again. And I just started praying what she said. And I was like, I just want to be healed. I don't want to carry the garbage. I don't want to carry this stuff. I don't want to look at myself and think these things about myself. I don't want my children to grow up with a mother that looks like that to herself. And I thought, I want to be right. And I can tell you, when I shut my eyes that second time, I cannot explain to you how I know this, other than God let me know. From the top of my head to underneath my feet, he flowed something purple and warm over the top of me. And it was slow. And as it went down, my body, piece by piece, like I literally felt it go down every finger, coat my hands, everything. And it seemed like it took a long time, but I know it didn't. But he healed me. It was so crazy to me to be able to stand there, and I was just shocked because I knew I lost my mind. First, I was like, this is insane. I don't know what this is. I've never seen anything like this. I don't know what to do with this. But I weep and I cry, and it was gone. Like I sat there and tried to think of something that hurt. I couldn't feel that. It was gone. When I tell you, it was the most holy, pure love that I have ever felt in my life. I don't know how else to explain it, but he did that. And that was the beginning of my journey. So I went home, and when I left here, everything that was supposed to be white, like houses and signs and all that, it all looked purple to me. And I was like, I took my sunglasses off, looked at my eyes in the mirror. I thought, screw loose. That's it. I'm gone. I drove all the way home. I checked my mailbox, and there was a brown package in my mailbox that didn't have any writing on it. Took it, put it in my house, put it on my bed, opened it up, and it was a purple jumpsuit. You know, one of those unattractive velour ones. Yeah. I thought, what in the world, and where did this come from? As soon as I saw it was purple, I laid it to the side. When I laid it to the side, I seen that purple marker in the bag, and I went, oh, what is this? Forget it, I'm done. So I picked up the TV, and I just hit power, and I sat down. I was like, I can't even focus. I can't think. I can't process this. And the first thing that came into focus on my TV was a priest walking out of a church wearing a purple sash. And when I tell you that TV remote went off real quick, and I just sat down, I go, God, I don't know what to do with this. If I'm losing my mind, please help me through this, because I don't know what to do. I know I don't feel ashamed. I don't feel scared. I don't feel broken. I don't feel any of this anymore, but I see stuff. And this is not normal for me. So my husband's a fireman, so he wasn't home that night, thank the Lord, because I don't think he could have handled me. It was a lot. So the next day he comes home, and I said, look, we got to talk. And, no man wants to hear that from their woman. We got to talk. And he said, oh, okay, what's up? I said, this happened to me yesterday, and I completely and totally understand if you need to take me somewhere and get me locked up. And I was so dead serious, y'all. Dead serious. I said, I understand if you need to take me somewhere because I don't understand this. But I can tell you what I do feel. And he looked at me and he said, well, what you going to do with it now? I was like, what? He said, obviously, God has done something to you. I said, okay, so I'm not crazy. All right, great. So I come to church the next, every time it was open after that. And the next week or two is whenever life group started. And I said, I still don't know anybody. I know a couple of ladies that hug your neck at the front door, and that's about it. And but I looked, and I found Amy Hickman's sign-up sheet. I was like, I'm going to get me some answers. I signed up for it, and I went to her, and the very first night, I know I was a crazy-looking mess. I said, this happened to me, and I don't know what does this mean? And she looked at me, and she goes, you see that lady right over there? Jill Stigall. She says, stuff like that happens to her all the time. You probably should talk to her. And I went, okay. So 45 minutes after the meeting closed, we got done. And Jill has blessed my heart in helping me to navigate through this new thing. I was not brought up in a church that experienced anything like this. I was not brought up in a church regular. And the ladies that he has put around me have really blessed my heart. And they are now puzzle pieces for me. And I'll explain that in a second. The first time that I noticed that God was really speaking to me, I said, Jill, I keep hearing this phrase, ask me. And she just looked at me and she goes, what do you think you mean? So I said, I don't know. I've been hearing it dozens of times a day, every day for, I don't know, it was weeks. And she said, well, April, maybe he's asking you to ask for something for yourself. And I go, well, God, the whole universe should know what I want, whatever I need. But maybe he wants me. Okay. Well, I asked for all the things before, salvation for my family, health, healing, all that stuff. And she said, maybe he wants you to do something for yourself, ask for something for yourself. I said, well, all right, well, that's a big order. So it took me a couple weeks and I prayed over it. I said, Lord, if this is you telling me to ask for something for myself, just give me something that nobody else I know has. And I did not know what that meant, what it would entail, or what roads it would take me down. Because not too long after that, just days, maybe up to 2 weeks, I had this deep stirring in my heart to paint. No skill, no training, no classes in my life. And I said, I know this is God, because I can't draw a box, y'all. I can't trace the turtle, So I said, God, if this is you, I know it is you. So you had me quit my job after 15 years. So my finances, so I'm going to be dependent on you to get some supplies so I can paint whatever it is. Now I'm thinking I'm going to paint and hang them in my house. And I didn't know what that was all entailing either. But he said, you got a lot of gift cards online. And I had, how you get online gift cards all the time? I had lots of them. And I don't know why I never used them, but he said, you got those. So I ordered me a little bit to begin. And when I began, this is what I did. I said, I think it's not time to wake up, Jace. All right. So I said, I think I want to paint this. And I did. For the first 4 things I painted, it looked like a couple of 2-year-olds got finger paint and went wild. It was bad. Like, literally, my husband would walk past and he goes, ooh. Getting better, dear. And I'm like, I feel like he's not telling the truth. So I really did. I sat down and I cried out to God. I was tears. I was like, God, I know this was you. I know you told me to do this. And if you want me to do any more, you're going to have to show me what it is. It's yours. And as I was literally crying out to God, I had my eyes closed. He showed me a picture. Wow, that was the first time that ever happened. It freaked me out. Help me remember that. That's what I said. Help me remember that. And since you showed me that and you want me to paint that, you're going to have to flow through me because I can't do this. And that's when I knew, right then at that moment, that he gave me that gift so that I could never claim it for my own. That I could not do that on my own. That it had to be him every time. So he showed me this picture, and I said, okay. So I started painting it, and I wanted to put cypress trees in it, and he said pine trees, and I said, well, cypress trees will look so good. And he said pine trees, and so I did my best at pine trees. Y'all should have seen. And then I said, well, since this is yours, and you showed me how to paint it, and you did it, you got to name it and tell me who it's for. He said, it's called Reflections. And it's for this lady right here. I said, I think I know who that lady is. Don't know. So I found her at church. And many of you know I do a lot of hit and run. I run up, I hit you with that word, and then I go on, you know. So I meet her at church, and I said, and I didn't have a word for her. It was the funniest thing. Like, I didn't even know you could get a word. It's just, I'm learning. And I said, the Lord told me to paint this for you and give it to you. And she goes, oh, it's beautiful. She said, the Lord just told me to change my bedroom curtains to this color. I said, really? She goes, yeah. She said, and I love the pine trees. She said, pine trees have a special place in my heart. She said, because my family has always owned a lot of pine trees. She said, so pine trees are so special to me. And I thought, wow. She said, this reminds me of this show I record. I record this show, and it's called Reflections. She said, it scrolls across pretty pictures, and it has verses, and I drink my coffee and look at it in the morning. And I was like, you're freaking me out. I said, turn it over. And she turned it over, and right on the back, in big old pencil, I wrote Reflections, that big. And she goes, that's freaking me out. I said, it freaked me out too. And she cried, and I wept, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what just happened, but that was cool. Let's do that again. All right? So she was my first. And I can tell you that it has never been more rewarding to do a painting or a sketch or whatever it is than what it has been for me, for the Lord. Because I know every single thing that at first I was like, no, that don't make sense. And he says, do it this way. And so I have learned, you say, do this, and it doesn't make sense. I'm doing it. Let's do it. It's exciting because then you get these things afterwards that people go, how'd you know that? I don't know that. He knew that. He told me, and I'm just giving it to you. Be blessed, bye. So that's what he has done through me. He's changed my life from being insecure and broken and hollow and bitter and regretful and shameful and everything that you can imagine that you feel that is not God, I've probably felt that. He took that from me, and he gave me something else. I can tell you that without the ladies who were here at that first meeting, without Amy opening her home up and her heart, without Jill being obedient and bringing purple markers, I remember that day she said, I'm not telling everybody the same thing in each class. I just feel like I'm supposed to tell you guys this. And I had not planned to say this. And I was like, she's in my business, And I literally almost ran her over going out the door because I remember I was like, gotta go. I'm out of this place. But without her, without the other lady who received the very first painting, who was also in one of the classes, without Jamie sharing, without these ladies being obedient, I would not be where I am today. I just wouldn't. God would not be able to use me like he does because these ladies pulled me in and they made me a part. God had me order a puzzle. When Krista asked me if I would speak, I already had a painting. He had given me a painting, I think in September or October for this. I didn't know it was for this event, but he said, do this. And I was like, okay. And then he showed it to me the second time. I have never had a painting the second time, and he just recently told me why. But he's never shown me a sketch twice. He gives me dreams sometimes twice. Sometimes he gives me a dream about somebody, and they'll be wearing, this literally happened. This lady was wearing a yellow polka dotted shirt in the produce section at Walmart, and then he showed me a finished painting. That was the first. I thought, wow, that's weird. I got up the next morning, I drew what I thought I was seeing and wrote it down, and I went on about my business. Well, everybody got to go to Walmart. So I found myself there, but I had totally forgotten because, I get up early in the morning, and I had totally forgotten. And I tell you, when I got right in front of the Subway in front of Walmart, I went, and I looked right there in the produce department, and there was a lady wearing a yellow polka dotted shirt. And I thought, oh, and so I said, yes, I see her, Lord. And I gave her a painting not too long after that. But he talks to me in many, many ways, and sometimes they're unusual to others. And anyways, whenever Krista asked me to do this, he had already given me a painting. And when he showed it to me that second time, I thought, well, this is significant. Why is he doing this? Oh, I'm supposed to show it twice. Once to y'all and once to the person who's supposed to get it. He gave me a word for this young lady who I don't know, I've never spoke to, and I could not pick her out of a crowd right now. I just do what he says. When she asked me to do this, about 3 or 4 days later, the Lord woke me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and he said, order a puzzle. I said, a puzzle? He said, yeah, order a puzzle, a colorful one. And 2 o'clock in the morning, my eyes don't like the phone. So I did. I ordered a puzzle. And the Lord had me order this one right here. This is called Color Explosion. And I said, okay, what am I supposed to do with a puzzle? And he said that every one of us in here are different hues and shades of Jesus, with our quirks, with our shapes, with our styles, with our attitudes. We're different shades and hues of Jesus. And that if there's one piece missing, it leaves a hole. That every single person here needs another one around them, like these ladies were for me, to hold them into place. And every single one of us make the other one better. We make them pop. We make them look good. We make them stand out because of our giftings, because of the way that we speak, the way that we carry ourselves, the talents that we have, the jobs that we have. We're all different, but we're all shades and hues of Jesus. So with that said, I'm going to show you this painting. And I'm going to tell you what he said, because often this is what happens. Now look, they don't always look strange, but this one does. So you're welcome. Yeah. This is what he said was the inflowing. You can just carry it around, thank you. It started out as him showing me the glory, his glory coming down. There was mountains, and there were skyscrapers and cities. And the second time he showed me that, they were all covered up in the glory. And I thought, look at that. Do it, Lord. Bring it. Then he said that our perspective, our position affects our perspective. So as you're looking at it, you can see it might just look white or pearl. But as you get closer, you can see that it's iridescent colors. And every one of those colors, he said, represents healing, health, hope, peace, giftings, mantles, new things for everybody in here. That's what he wants. He wants you to know he has these things for you. You and I are in the same place. God made us, he loves us, and he wants to do something through us. This is his dream for each one of us, to do something to grab the others and bring them in. To walk out what he has for us when it can be very uncomfortable. I don't like talking in front of people. I have a small group, all right? When I heard about how many people would be here tonight, I shuddered. I said, oh my goodness. Well, let me get my girls. I need some girls here that I know that will make me feel comfortable. You know why? Because they're my pieces that lock together, that help hold me into place. And when I'm weak, I'm in a bad place, stuff happens, I'm in a new place, that's happening right now. They're there to lift me up, to help me through it, to show me, to teach me. There's so much that you can learn, not just from older people, the older generation. I'm so sorry. But from people who've walked through something you're walking through. Because if you don't share your stuff, I heard this the other day, I was telling Amy about it. A lady said on Better Together or something like that, I just happened to see it. The lady said, when you have sin or shame or something and it stays hidden, it eats at you. It's not good, it's not healthy. But the moment, and the enemy has power over it, okay? But the moment that you bring it out in the open and you share, I was broken. I was heartbroken. I was so insecure. Somebody can identify with it. And therefore, they can be healed. They can receive it. But you don't know what I've been through. Well, guess what? It's all the same. My pain and your pain are the same. Maybe they don't seem that way because we're individually going through it, but hurt is hurt. Pain is pain. And God wants to heal it all. Every inch of it, because you can become healthy in here by giving that out and not holding it in there anymore. And that's the problem that so many of us have, is we hold it in because it's ugly, it's embarrassing, it's hurt. I don't want to even deal with it. Well, guess what? Eventually you're going to have to. So let's do it in a nice way so we can get it over and done with instead of it being a train wreck down the road. Okay? I feel like the Lord is saying he wants to do that here. He wants to do that for us. Every one of us have the right to receive it. Every single one of us. Whether it's one thing or another, it's yours for the taking. Give what you got. My friend said, sin, shame, unforgiveness. Oh my gosh, unforgiveness. That took me several sessions to get through that one, all right? Because I had a list. Those things are like trash. Rotten trash. And what does that attract but rats? You keep toting along the garbage, you're going to keep having a rat problem. I don't like rats. I don't like the trash either, and most of the time I don't like to carry it out, but we had to get rid of some trash. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Before y'all leave tonight, there's going to be some sweet ladies sitting at the door, and they're going to have some puzzle pieces in little bags for you. Please, please, everybody, take one. I feel like the Lord said that they were seeds. He told me a little while back to plant a garden, and I was just sharing with two of my sisters tonight. I was like, plant a garden? Yeah, I'm not planting a garden. Of course, I grow stuff. And he said, no, plant a garden at the church. And I go, that's the new building? Man, I'm going to have to pull more weeds. And I'm thinking to myself, this is so much more work. And he said, the puzzle pieces. It's like, come on, April. So he said, the seeds are the puzzle pieces. So I'm planting seeds with y'all. And y'all's responsibility is to do a prophetic act of taking those seeds, those puzzle pieces, and you got to find a lady for every puzzle piece and bring her in. Doesn't mean she got to come here to church. It doesn't mean she's got to be in your life group. But there are women out there that need to be brought in, that need to be healed, that need to know that they can be. There's people that you work with, people you get waited on by at the gas station or eating lunch or whatever it might be. And those people, they look like they're doing all right. I did too. But I wasn't. And maybe they are. Maybe there's something that's going to complement your set of gifts, your talents. So please, take a bag, take the pieces, and give them to somebody and share something with them so that they know you notice them, that you care, that you took the time to do it.